Stocks continuing higher here. S&P 500 futures marking a new session high at 4206 and 3/4. That's up about 1.33% for the session. GameStop ticker Golf Mike Echo shares falling to a session low around 198 here, breaking below the 205 and $200 levels over just the last few minutes. Shares down about 6% here. Golf Mike Echo. AMC Alpha Mike Charlie shares also falling to new session lows. Volume ticking a little higher here. The SAC just recently falling below the $57 level. Shares down about 4.5% here. That's ticker Alpha Mike Charlie. Roku Romeo Oscar Kilo Uniform shares spiking to a session high here, now up 3%, just briefly touching over the 380 level in Roku. That's ticker Romeo Oscar Kilo Uniform. DoorDash, ticker Delta Alpha Sandy Hotel Company announcing a partnership with Albertsons to launch access to on-demand grocery delivery. Shares of DoorDash moving higher here following that press release. The stock now up about 0.5% at 168.20. That's ticker Delta Alpha Sandy Hotel.
$13.30. I'll take off some if we get there.
Kyle, you're unmuted.
Oh, my bad.
No worries. I'm gonna share my screen now. A sec. There we go. So pretty frustrating morning for me. It was just on the wrong side of AMC, but I thought I saw some really good like pockets of like risk to reward opportunity. So I kind of in here built in a little. It gave out. I got stopped out on this candle, but then I just saw it really failed to hold under the 60, which had so much buying on the tape. So I got pretty big in here, added on this pullback that held 60, and then you see it's kind of this stuff move, and I didn't get much out. I was looking to sell into 61.50 and like 62. And then that just failed. And then I was looking for the same type of setup into this 59 area, which is also important from yesterday's post market. You can see that's where we really based before we broke higher. So I was watching this area, and again on the tape, we were just like holding pretty well. We couldn't really break down when we make a new low. So in here, when we like held under the level, didn't break this wick low, I just got pretty big in here, just risking this low. Hoping to sell some into 60 and then just like into 61, and again just couldn't really pop, and just stopped out under these lows, and then stepped away because figure once they're under 59, there's really no support down to like 57, and you can see that was clearly exactly what happened. So if I could have just stayed open-minded on this, probably could have caught a lot of what I wanted to. So yeah, definitely gonna just watch this now. I used too much risk on it, so just hands off for the day. So we can go to Kyle.
Yeah, Wish.
A
So it set up
programming
in
note
pre-market
here,
pretty
Cerberus
early
Telecom
on.
Acquisition Corp, ticker Charlie
Didn't really
Tango
amount to a whole
Alpha
lot,
Charlie,
but
company SPAC
buying
merger
that
partner Core
1180 break,
Wireless. The CEO will be appearing on
versus
Benzinga's SPACs Attack
1164.
YouTube show
So yeah, a
at
little bit early, right there,
11:15
like when
a.m.
it broke out. Yeah, and then just kind of sold it on the way up, kind of a measured move from the first breakout to the second breakout. Then it set up kind of again right at the open. It like flushed down to 1170, and then we bought that 1 minute high, 1 minute candle to make a new high, like the 3rd minute in or 4th minute in. Yeah, risking low of day, and we sold half into like 1220. This is on the account with me and Tim, and then stopped out the rest, and then it it set up at like 1210 not too long ago versus 1195, and you know, we both took it in our main account, but you know, it was an idea where we were kind of supposed to take it in our drawing as well. So it's something we could think about how to, you know, it was pretty active, pretty volatile, so it made it a little bit difficult, but I think maybe we could have had a buy higher out or something like that and got involved. But something to think about. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's a nice setup. Go to Tim.
Yeah, so Kyle kind of already mentioned the one we took in join. I took that one right off the open as well. Did a good job. He did a good job in the joint account selling some, so we ended up profiting on that. I ended up taking about 10% of my daily stoppable loss, but I took that same thing around 1210, just risking like the previous pullback low of like 94 cents. So into the first move, I took off about half, like just kind of like layering out my offers. And then I recently just took off about like a fourth above like 85 cents into 13. And now I'm basically trying to look to hold this as long as I can. Like if I get rid of like 50 shares, I'm down to a fourth. So if this does continue to stay strong and we could like hold above 1250, I would like to probably look to swing this. But yeah, that's really it for me.
Sounds good. We'll go to Tristan.
Hey, what's up? So pretty much nothing for me, basically flat. A lot of my ideas worked, just kind of tricky on the tape with TRCH. So I ended up longing this kind of after it reclaimed VWAP back into highs and kind of got just, wasn't like a really great place to kind of get a lot of size, and then kind of stopped out on a little bit on that big wick through highs on high volume. I didn't want to get trapped in like a big dump, so that made it kind of tricky, and then ended up shorting it at like 1070s, small size, willing to give it to like 1150, 12, just building in if it started to skip prices like it did, and knowing that or thinking that if it was to kind of blow off, that it would give some kind of a bounce. Obviously never did, so that never turned into much, and then just tried to bounce it, which I think a lot of us tried to do, and it just really didn't work, as you can see, just straight down. But basically flat on the day, so just gonna I'm in this Wish and JPM, which is kind of rolling over right now, but yeah, that's really it.
Okay. Jack.
Yeah, I was also involved in TRCH. I tried to buy the pull in around, I guess, 955 when it was coming into like 10-ish, and then 950, and then they were just stepping it down. It was really heavy, so I got out. I actually got short when it started to roll under VWAP, and I couldn't hold above 9, just for a quick scalp, like pretty recently around 1045. Yeah, so that's how I traded that. I was a little oversized trying to get into the pullback because I thought there was a chance we could take out highs, but it just never showed itself. And I was also in Wish. It's probably my biggest trade. Yeah, so early on, I was kind of just keeping a side watch on it because it was pretty competitive and choppy, and I didn't really want to try to size in mid-range and get chopped up that way. So once it kind of broke down lows marginally and reclaimed VWAP, we saw a couple flushes get bought up. I started accumulating against like low day, basically 1150. And I was in small from around 1190 to 12 when we broke through 1225-ish. And what I was looking for then, after we really saw the volume come in, I was looking for a really hard flush down where we saw buyers step in and I could size into for a quick pop up, take out highs and move higher. And we didn't really get what I was looking for. I was looking for a little deeper pull in, like into the breakout area. But I did scale in around 1250, 1240 once it was acting pretty strong. And then I took half off when we
What do you
came
think
into
about
13.
the volume when we broke out around 1045?
Yeah, that's what really got me interested when we saw high volume as the open, essentially. And what I look for then is, can we sustain that volume, or does it die off quickly and just fade back to where it was?
Right, and yeah, I definitely think that was really important, as far as just, especially with the meme stocks, it's extremely important for us, just make sure that we're paying attention to the volume, and then especially with this 12 range and the kind of 12 and a quarter being the high for the morning, with this, breaking the area with high volume, that was extremely important for this morning.
Yeah. And that hard flush that I was looking for, that was really the real trade in my mind after we saw that kind of confirmation with the volume coming in. That's what I was really waiting for. And then I was also involved in AMC. Yeah, so like I said in the trader development meeting, didn't really want to be over trading this, really active in it. But when it started showing weakness and holding below 60-ish, try to wick up into VWAP, failed, came back down. We saw some heaviness. I was just shorting into the pops into a 59.50-ish, covering down into 59, covering risk, just created a free trade in case it did roll like it ended up doing. And I was just really wanted to hold until we saw a real change. And to me, when we just try to break down there and get down to 55-ish and couldn't, and then pop pretty hard, I just took it off. So just trying to stay more passive in this name and just make the real trade that's there and not get chopped up. But those were the only main trades for me today.
Alrighty. Go to Sebastian.
Can you pull up a TRCH, please?
Oh.
Thank you. So I kind of had a similar idea with Tristan in the morning, taking along above 9. And then I ended up buying that first pull into VWAP, but then getting stopped out. And then I tried taking the breakout above 960s again, but it was really choppy. The tape wasn't really that strong there. And after that, I tried looking for the short because the volume was kind of the same. And when we did kind of wake up, we did reject it with low volume at the time of the bar. And that's why I kind of put on the short position, but then I cut it once it got back to 980s. And then the only trade I'm in right now is when we kind of pulled back up below 9 for the first time and then consolidated at 9, I started building a short position there, and I'm still short some now. And just seeing if we can get any more continuation and fade for the rest of the day.
Sounds good. Coleman.
Hey, what's up? I also trade Wish. Trade this 3 times. The first time was the break of 12 right on the open where it got stuffed. So I stopped out on that for 10-cent loss. And then I started to build into like a position around 1150 when I was holding these lows, just a clear risk off level. And so I built into that. I sold some of it at 1185 and then into 1223. And then I put my stop at 1190. It got hit out on that flush right there. But then I liked how it reclaimed VWAP and was holding, and you could see like this overall trend. It was like that flush lower is actually a higher low. So I like that. So that gave me another level of risk off of. Exactly. And then I started to build into position at 12 when it was like coming into that trend line that you drew, Matt. And then I took some off into the new highs, and then I have a quarter left, and I'm just gonna stair step my stop up. Right now I have my stop at 1136. I'll probably move it back up to that wick around 1260, and just let it work and stair step up. But yeah, that's all the trades for me.
Nice, sounds good. Jeff.
Yeah, nothing too crazy for me this morning. If you want to pull up Tesla. So I was watching this one when we got that initial green bar in the morning. I got in around, I think it was like 624, risking low day just to see if we could continue the strength and maybe test that 630 level. I think just the issue was that the trade just wasn't there. It was too early. And I caught that one then. And then Wish.
That when we weren't above the resistance zone yet, correct?
Yeah, no, that was the issue. There was no trade there. It was a stupid trade, absolutely. And then if you want to pull up, Mara. So when Mara initially had the strength in the morning, I was watching to see how it would react near this prior day VWAP, which is around 2860. When volume started to dry around, what time is it? 10 a.m. your time. I built in short, just risking very, very like 5 or 10 cents looking for that VWAP. So I cut it off into there. And then I'm just currently short a little bit under 28.20 to see. I was looking at Bitcoin. I was watching, you were saying, Carlton, the BTC perp on FTX. It gives a much more in-depth look than the futures on Thinkorswim. So I'm watching that now. It can't seem to break above this 33K level on Bitcoin. So I'm looking to see if we could potentially roll over, break below VWAP and close near low day, depending on what Bitcoin does. But yeah, nothing too crazy there. That's my morning.
Nice. Yanni.
Can you pull up SWBI? So this was a second day play. I looked to get long over 2360, 65. My entry was a little bit late. I got a fill at, what was this, 2390. So my risk was a little bit wider, so I went in with less shares, but it was still a good trade nonetheless. I made some sales into 24.36, 24.75, 25, and also 26 and 26.70. And now I'm just down to literally just 1/20th of my position, looking to ride this out for potential end of the day, high of day candidate with a trailing stop under the 10-day moving average on the 5-minute.
This was a great second day play. This is something definitely to be playbooked.
Yeah, no, this is something I'm playbooking. I present playbook on Wednesday, so this is probably something that you'll guys see. But
Okay, perfect.
but yeah, 2 more trades also in Docu.
And then something to note also was look at the RVOL this morning. It's pretty consistent throughout the morning. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no,
which
this
is a great
was
sign.
yeah, this was a beautiful beautiful trade.
Mhm.
Yeah, so with Docu, I look to take the opening range breakout above 271 in the morning for a potential test at 276. So I got long at 271, made some sales at 274, but then that got slapped and I ended up getting stopped out of break even back at 271. Then third trade was on Roku. Pretty much the same idea. Took the opening range break above 373. My initial target was 378 to make my first sale, and it just barely got there, so I didn't end up making sales. And then we got rejected on that, and then I got stopped out on their VWAP for like a very small loss, but I wasn't risking too much on this Roku and this Docu trade. Mainly I was watching this SWBI, so just 2 small trades on those names.
Perfect, and especially in this type of market condition, when you can see things a little bit choppy, definitely want to try to stick with things that are showing RVOL or increased RVOL and continuous RVOL throughout the opening session, which is a good sign on the SWBI today. It's a great example of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But other than that, those are the 3 names I traded today.
Alrighty, that's everyone for the morning. I will catch everyone for the tape.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Virios Therapeutics, ticker Victor India Romeo India, shares still halted here. Zach Small Cap Research recently tweeting a press release from the company earlier, out about 4 hours ago, highlighting safety data from a phase 2 trial of its IMC-1 at a recent World Congress, and Virios Therapeutics shares halted on a circuit breaker following that tweet from Zacks. The stock halted up about 18%, ticker Victor India Romeo India. Expect Virios Therapeutics shares to resume trade in a couple minutes here. Stock was halted at 11:17 and 8 seconds. If this is going to be a 5-minute circuit breaker, we would expect the shares to resume trade at 11:22 and 8 seconds a.m. Eastern Time. That's ticker Victor India Romeo India. Virios Therapeutics, ticker Victor India Romeo India, shares resume trade, continuing higher, marking a new session high at 7:45. The stock up about 18% here, ticker Victor India Romeo India. Advanced Micro Devices, ticker Alpha Mike Delta, seeing some unusual option activity here. The January 2023 $70 puts showing interest at the bid. Shares of AMD last trading down about 2.5% at 82.62. That's ticker Alpha Mike Delta. Fed President James Bullard still commenting here. Recent Bloomberg headline highlighting that Bullard saying retirements have changed the conditions in the labor market, quote, dramatically. Correction, that last headline from Bullard was from Reuters.